All right. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday, June 30th. What is the last day of June, I believe. Can you believe it? Crazy. Last 4 months have seemed very, very odd. But welcome to Plan Chats today on this really warm Nevada Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe out there. Today we have a very special guest, special to my heart. One of my absolute favorite people in the entire world, Melissa Carson, who is our World Languages Program Facilitator Extraordinaire from the Washoe County School District. So how's it going, Melissa?
Good. I'm so nervous.
Don't be. So welcome to your first Plan Chat.
Thank you.
Your first of many.
Well, I'm very excited to be here and really honored that I'm one of your first. So thanks for having me.
Awesome, of course. So people in Washoe County are very familiar with you. They know you very well, but for the rest of the state, let's learn a little bit about Melissa Carson. What's your background? What's your educational background? Why'd you become a teacher?
So, my sisters, I have twin sisters. They are 10 months younger than me. I was born in January. They're born in December. And they still give me a hard time because they say that, when we were little, I used to line them up and try to teach them. I think it was just something I've always wanted to do. But after high school, oddly enough, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I picked up, moved abroad, lived in Argentina for a year. And then that was it. I was like, I want to teach Spanish. I want to teach culture. This is what I want to do with my life. And the rest is history.
Well, we're very excited that you had that experience and wanted to become a teacher, especially a world languages teacher. What was your favorite part about living in Argentina?
Argentina is so special to my heart. I love traveling. Traveling to South America is my favorite place to travel, favorite countries. But with Argentina, the people are just extraordinarily nice. The food is wonderful. The culture is rich. And the geography is amazing. The Patagonia is just beautiful. So.
Oh, I would love to see that. And I hear they have good wine in Argentina. A little bird told me.
Well, I tell my husband all the time, like, if we ever move abroad, we're moving to Mendoza, Argentina, because it's like Napa was 50 years ago, or what I would imagine 50 years ago, because I'm not that old. But it's lots of vineyards and small yet big town kind of feel. Very quaint, beautiful at the base of the Andes Mountains. Like, it just doesn't get better.
Oh my gosh, I've never been to Argentina. I would love to visit it one day.
Let's go.
Yes. Argentina with Melissa Carson. Woo!
Party.
So Melissa, you are the World Language Program Facilitator for Washoe County School District. So what does that mean? What does that role look like? What do you do?
So World Languages is still relatively small. It's a small department in Washoe County, whereas math is bigger and has not only program facilitators, but coordinators and coaches. So for our department, I just kind of do it all. And it's really a support role for the world language teachers. They have a lot on their plate. A lot of world language teachers are teaching 3 or 4 levels. They can get bogged down in curriculum work, lesson planning, staying up to date on trends and methodology, good pedagogy. So all of those things, I come in and I try to work alongside the teachers, support them in whatever their needs may be. and just offer an extra pair of hands and whatever that may look like.
What's your favorite part of your role as world language program facilitator?
So one of the best things about working in Washoe County World Languages is that we are so small. So it feels like a family. And leaving the classroom was hard. Leaving kids was a hard choice, but getting to work every day with people who I adore, respect, admire, um, it feels like coming home to family, and it's exciting to wake up and see how that goes. Plus, I never really adventured out of my classroom, or I guess I went and saw other teachers in the building, but not outside of my school. So getting to learn the culture of other schools and the different tips and tricks and things that other teachers have to offer has been really exciting.
That's awesome. And you do a lot of professional learning with the teachers, correct?
I do. Or try to.
Try to, yeah. Pre-COVID.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say we had like three meetings, trainings that we had to cancel this spring, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting them back up and rolling next year.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Talk to us. I know you're really involved in the profession, meaning you are involved in Plan. You've always been a member and a supporter of Plan. You're also, I know you're involved in ACTFul. We've attended several ACTFul conferences together. And I think they're really important for people in roles like yours. So how do these organizations help you be a more effective facilitator?
Um, so my personality is one of keeping the peace. I like to avoid conflict. And so when I first started teaching, I worked with some really great professionals, but I adopted their methodology because we were writing common assessments and looking at essential standards and things. And I just thought, I'm going to do what they do. And it wasn't until my first ACTFL conference, I remember it was in San Diego, I can't remember what year, I came back with so much information and presented it to the department, and people were on board and they were excited, and it started kind of this passion and this fire to look at what is best teaching practices in world language, not because it's comfortable, but because it's proven, researched methodology. And what the conferences do is help keep me grounded, remind me what my job is, what my role is, and then help me to take information back to others. It's given me a voice.
Wow, that's awesome. And you know, ACTFul is virtual this year.
I did. I'm a little
Yes.
disappointed because I love Texas. I couldn't live there because of the heat, but I love Texas. San Antonio would have been a lot of fun.
Yes. What's really cool though is all of their sessions are going to be online, and people will have access to them, I think, through the end of December. So
Oh, that's really nice.
yeah,
Get to see everything.
absolutely, right? Because it's so hard to see everything you want to see at ACTFul just
Right.
because it's so gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Talk to me. So people that attended the Plan conference last fall up here in Reno, if they were lucky enough to see your session about equity and grading, you know, for those of you that weren't at this conference, Melissa actually was the best of Plan, her session at our fall conference. And when Southwest Colt was going to happen this past spring in Anaheim, but was canceled, unfortunately, Melissa was going to present her session as the best session from the state of Nevada. So congratulations on that. Sorry we couldn't congratulate you in person.
Thank you.
But talk to us a little bit about your work in grading, in equitable grading, because it's so interesting.
That's a loaded question. That's a big story. For anybody that doesn't know, I worked at Galena High School for 12 years. And Melissa Ballard, who I worked with for a lot of those years, was on last week. I was a department lead for 7 years at Galena, and I worked with an English department lead, just really looking over what equitable grading practices look like. As a department, we had already switched our gradebook over to a proficiency-based gradebook. So our categories only were interpretive, interpersonal, and presentational. And then we added the final category because that's a district policy. But then when we wanted to dig further into how do we equalize the playing field, because at our school we have different discrepancies amongst the languages, the teachers, L2 versus L1, and how do we really make sure that our grades mean something? We had dealt with for a long time of trying to norm our grade books, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle when the kids come to you and go, but I had an A last year, why am I not getting the grade I deserve? Well, that's a problem, right? Because according to the rubric, you're approaching standards, you're not meeting them yet, and that doesn't mean an A. And getting kids to think about the skill instead of the grade was really important to the work we were doing. And the same thing in the English department, and it really helped having two departments coming at it at the same time. So one of the things that we talked about when I got into this role is we did a book study, Grading for Equity by Joe Feldman, and we had lots of DLs who jumped on board and took their departments with them, and it was really great watching the process at these schools and getting people to think about what's really important. What do I need to grade? What do I need to give feedback on? What do the kids need in order to succeed? But really watching the teacher reflective process of, why am I teaching this? If I can't put this in the grade book, why am I teaching this? Like, where does vocab bingo go? Not to say it's not important, but why am I doing this? And getting teachers to really reflect on those things was such an amazing thing to watch. And for everybody that doesn't know, Rachel Tillotson is like my counterpart for all things world languages. She and I started this journey a long time ago together, and Rachel was Toy of Nevada, 3 years ago? Mm-hmm. And she and I really stretch each other because we disagree on so many things. And we wrestled with this concept back and forth for a really long time. And now listening to her reflect on the journey, it's just been, it's been the most challenging and rewarding endeavor we've gone through, aside from switching to IPAs and doing performance assessments. So it's been fantastic.
It's been a conversation starter for sure, but it's a conversation that has needed to happen for a long time. And so again, the extraordinary Melissa Carson, thank you for leading that here in our school district, because it's so important. So thank you for sharing it. I wanted other people to hear about that work you do, because it is so important.
Thank you.
All right, Melissa Carson, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
This is a good one. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Okay.
If you could give Melissa Carson high school student advice, what advice would you tell your high school self?
Yeah, you put me on the spot on that one. Um, well, I would I would tell myself that just because you have a degree doesn't mean you stop learning. I do think I was too stagnant in the first few years of teaching, especially compared to what I know now. And thinking, when you're young and you're 22 and you're 23 and you're coming out of college and you're like, I have this degree, it means something. I know it all, and I know what I'm doing. And the truth is that I'm so far removed from that person. I've learned so much, but what I've learned the most is that I still have so much more to learn. And quality relationships really open your eyes because people have so much to teach you.
Ooh, that was a good one. Good answer. um, Melissa, before we go, do you have anything to add to our wonderful plan members?
Yeah, I do. And that is to get involved. Plan is a great place to start, but building relationships with our state is so big and spread apart. Um, that building relationships with people in other districts is oftentimes really difficult. And I would say I've made some lifelong friends in the South that I never would have made had I not gotten involved.
That's a great plug for plan. So everyone out there, pay attention to that. That was really well said. All right, Melissa. Well, thank you so much for being on Plan Chats today.
Thank you for having me. I'm a
Yes,
little relieved it's over.
yes, that was fun. Just want to give everyone a heads up for next week. We are going to have someone from outside of Nevada joining us. We will have Ricky Adamson, who is a coordinator for Vista Higher Learning, who's a very large world language publisher. So you will adore Ricky Adamson. He's a great guy. And he will be our guest on next week. So everyone have a wonderful 4th of July. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week on Plan Chats. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.